Hello, I'm back. No, it's been a while, but we're getting ready for Dawn Trail here. So, since I've finally managed to get my tanks up to level 80, I thought we'd go ahead and do the last role quest I have for Shadowbringers. We may do a couple more things here. We'll see. This is, of course, your warning for spoilers for Shadowbringers. We'll try to keep the Endwalker stuff out of it, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Alright, Ransom. I should probably eat food for this too, get that XP. The man with too many scars. The tall, dark stranger is regarding you with a mixture of curiosity and approval. Can't say I've chatted with you before. I think I'd remember if I had. Seen your fair share of fighting, have you? And wary besides. Rest assured I've no secret designs. Name's Granson, bounty hunter by trade, mostly sin eaters. When I first laid eyes on you, I had a feeling you were a tough bastard. The sort that must get mistaken for that warrior of darkness folks have been talking about recently. That right? You see... no, not at all. Easy, killer. I couldn't care less who you are or what you've done. The only thing I'm looking for these days is a like-minded partner. Someone willing to join me in the hunt for the biggest prize this side of Norvrand. Prize, you say? I'd hear the details. No, give me the prize. What have you got? Show me the goods. All mad. I may be a little low energy today. I did spend most of it grinding levels. I thought that'd grab your attention. Oh gosh, that's a name. Dikaiosine. I'm gonna go with Dikaiosine. Dikaiosine's the fiend I'm after. One of the so-called cardinal virtues, as folks are wont to call him. There were hopes that somehow the death of all three and the wardens might have put an end to Dikaiosine, but alas, no. Seems the rules that bind other sin eaters don't apply to the virtues. Former warriors' flights, the esteemed heroes who saved the realm a century ago. Dear old Brandon was one of them, I'm told. Stop me if you've heard all this before. Anyways, like his comrades, Brandon died in the process, only to return relatively recently as a sin eater. Better to torment we few who survived their mercy. Needless to say, I aim to put an end to all that. You've heard the pitch, so what's the answer? You interested in hunting Dikaiosine with me? Absolutely. Not a whit of hesitation. I like you, sinner. Nevertheless, I'll need you to humor me and prove you're the dab hand I think you are, for my sake as well as yours. I've heard reports of stray sin eaters drifting close to the Crystarium. Come with me and put my mind at ease. Ah, now we must test. And we're just gonna teleport there because I am lazy. Alright, there we go. And as per usual, I'm immediately screwing things up. Alright. Look, one of these days I'm gonna get this stuff down. It is not that day today. I'm gonna have to figure out a new HUD layout too. Because I am planning to do Savage next tier. Got a group and everything. I don't think that'll be streamed. but it is happening. There you are. Very good. The Sin Eaters we're after were sighted west of the Censor Gate, so we'll need to head through there before we begin our search. Oh, and if you happen to have any objections to killing Sin Eaters for sport, remember that many were once innocent people. You'll be doing them a favor putting them out of their misery. Well, it's not a bad point. Got friends who are super stoked for Dawn Trail. We're all like just kind of waiting. We're in the waiting game right now. Hyped for the expansion. I can use a controller, I swear. Hey, I did the thing. Give me goods. Good, clean work. This is clearly not your first time. Let's do this once more just to confirm it wasn't a fluke, though. Besides, the world could do with less Sin Eaters. Follow me. Shouldn't be much farther. Ah, yet again, cleaning up the mess. Look at the mess you've made. Missed one of the events that came back recently, because I got confused. My friend mentioned it to me, and I thought they were talking about the Monster Hunter quest that's just constantly in the game. So when they said Dragon Quest, I got really confused and missed the event because of it. Which in hindsight is funny. It's just, you know, par for the course. We're just gonna get confused about something, mix it up, all that good stuff. You know how it is. There we go. Alright. Taking advantage of not having anyone watch me. Multitasking. Yeah, that'll do. You're exactly the sort of man I've been looking for, and thank the gods for that. My apologies for subjecting you to such a silly test, but I'd rather not have an amateur's death on my conscience. Let's head back to the Wandering Stairs and make this official, shall we? Here we go. I'm so very fast. So very fast, kitty. Got the humans. So, just to make sure you're still keen on our arrangement, Dimma, will you join with me and hunt the dreaded fiend Dikaiosine and put an end to his accursed existence? Absolutely, I will. Excellent. Then it is settled. Now, every hunt begins with an investigation, and ours is no exception. Dikaiosine can be rather difficult eater to pin down. But before we commence ours, we would do well to attend to our respective preparations. Let me know when you are ready to proceed. Ready in just a moment. Shaped by tragedy, Granson is eager to take to the road. All set to embark on our great hunt, Dimma? Then let us be about it. Before you ask, I've no intention of leading us out into the wilds without even an inkling of Dikaiosine's whereabouts. Norvrent may not be a particularly large realm, even before the flood, but it'd take us a dozen lifetimes to scour every nook and cranny. So we'll start by asking around a place I know for a fact Dikaiosine has attacked before. The village of Wright, on Calusia. While I don't have reason to believe he will return, I'd like to think that the survivors might know something of value. After all, you can be sure that they haven't forgotten the day that the bastard came through. So let us be off then. You walk so slow. Look at that, I can even hide. That window is just never gonna stay hidden, is it? Let me try clicking. Let's see if that works. Welcome to Wright. I reckon it might not seem like much to you, but to me, sir, I have been here before. Never mind. We'll save that conversation for after. You're from here, aren't you? Tracking down Dikaiosine is what matters right now. Let's split up and ask for after the bastard. Better odds of turning up useful information that way, I'd wager. I'll bet you he's from here and he lost someone to this guy. Huh? Where did you come from? And what do you want with me? Tell me. Dikaiosine, that thrice damned eater, that's the spitting image of Galgent Knight. That Dikaiosine? I can't help you. All I know is that when he came, he... Wicked White, if you had seen the carnage, you would... Sorry, I can't talk about this. Ooh. That's no good. Very, bad, in fact. You're such a very fast kitty. Ah! What? What do you want with me? The Sin Eater? The one that came and killed everyone? Oh gods, is he here? Then why are you talking about him? Oh, I knew I should have stayed inside. There's nothing but death out here now. Death and horror and eaters and... Ooh, that's no good. Okay. There's definitely something wrong with this guy. This definitely seems like the most intense one of the batch so far. In terms of people's reactions. Well, learn anything worth sharing? Wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. What we saw that day, what he did to us. There's no moving on from that. Exactly happened here. Well, I was planning to tell you the whole story eventually, but I suppose now is as good a time as any. beautiful shot. Yep. I was born and raised in Wright. Lacking any real prospects, I eked out a living as a hunter. Might have tried my hand at something more exciting had I not also been trying to provide for the love of my life, Melinda. It was about a year ago that she accepted a commission from this Yulmoran trader. Luke dealt mostly in antiques, and he had this bracelet in need of restoration. Bloody old with a questionable provenance, but supposedly it once belonged to royalty or some such. The Fangs of Orthus, he called it. Me and her had been talking about tying the proverbial knot, buying land, building a home, that sort of thing. Around here that might not take much, but it was still a lot more than we had. So when the trader made his offer, she didn't hesitate to say yes. I'd gone down to the shipyards to pick up extra tools and materials she needed for the work. Quality stuff, but it'd pay for itself 10 times over. But when I got back to Wright... Oh no. The Kaiosine had been busy, despite at least a dozen newborn eaters fluttering about trying to make sense of their new lot. The grandmother who lived next door and shared fruits of her orchard with us. The gruff woodsman who'd brought firewood to our doorstep in the dead of winter. Both of them reduced to mindless fiends just like that. It wasn't time to mourn or to think. I started to look for Melinda. And then there she was, alive and well. Our eyes met, and we knew it was going to be all right. We ran for each other, and even now, a year later, it doesn't feel real. One moment she was there, right there in front of me, and the next she was... The Kaiosine knelt and took the Fangs of Orthus, then left, leading a host of sin-eaters out of Wright. But Melinda... I still couldn't see her as anything else. She wouldn't budge. She just hovered there and stared, waiting for me to end it. Well, I could never say no to her. Not once in the years we'd been together. For all the times she'd welcome me home with a bowl of hot stew. The times she laughed at my crude jokes and gave me counsel when I was losing my way. For all that and more, I killed her. I swore then and there I'd have my vengeance. The Kaiosine would die by my hand. Carved the scars in my flesh to mirror the ones he left on my soul. An enduring reminder of the vow that I never dared stray from the path. There. All done. No need to wallow in it. Wouldn't want my tragic yet trite tale to put you off our hunt. Still with me to the end, sinner? That's the spirit. Still, I have some unfinished business here, so if you could give me a moment before we resume, I would be most grateful. Oof. Defined by loss. Grandson would like nothing more than to leave Wright behind. Sorry to have kept you waiting, sinner. I'm sure you're eager to get back at it, as am I. Trouble is, in your absence, I've failed to turn up any information as to the whereabouts of the Kaiosine. There's one little line of inquiry I've yet to pursue, though. The Fangs of Orthus. Bracelet my beloved was supposed to restore that the Sin Eater took with him when he left Wright. Sin Eaters are mindless fiends driven only by base instinct. Everyone knows that. They've no need for worldly possessions. Yet Kaiosine took the bracelet anyway, which can only mean that there's something unique about this particular antique. or the sinless bastard somehow different from the rest of his ilk. Either way, I think we need to learn more about the Fangs of Orthus, and I know just the man to ask, the Yulmoran trader who commissioned Melinda's services. Much as I'd like to question him myself, though, I don't think that's an option. Even though Dikaiosine's attack a year ago is common knowledge, I doubt the trader will believe that an eater stole his precious trinket. He's more likely to accuse me of theft or have me clapped in irons. So I'm afraid you'll have to go in my stead, Dimma. Melinda said he was a regular at the Beehive, so try looking for him there first. I'm going to the club. It's that time to go dancing. Yep, that is just gonna stay there. We're just gonna accept that that is on the screen now. It's a part of our life, our decoration. Oh, there's a triple triad right there. I am not doing that tonight, though. Industrious trader. Hello. You were easy to find. And to what do I owe the pleasure that is your company? What do you mean by that? Why'd you say it like that? Fangs of Orthus, you say? Oh, very interesting. I should be glad to tell you everything that I know, under the assumption that should you recover it, you will see it return to its rightful owner at once. I purchased the bracelet from a traveling peddler who claimed it was a relic of Vobert, that glorious kingdom that fell in the flood like so many others. He spoke true from what I could tell, and I intended to sell it to a collector here for a tidy profit, after having it properly restored by an artisan in Rite. Alas, she was one of several casualties of Sin Eater attack, during which the Fangs of Orthus mysteriously vanished. I have of course been keeping in touch with several contacts on and off on the off chance that the thief might attempt to sell it. They have not, regrettably, but a piece of similar design did recently surface in Mordsuk, I am told. I was planning to dispatch an agent to investigate, but you seem more than capable of fulfilling that role. As for incentive, you may be assured that any information that aids me in the acquisition of the Fangs of Orthus or similar relics will be well rewarded. Ooh. They dancing. Can I get that dance, please? Can I get slash pole dance as a treat? It'd be fun. But see, then they give us the like little guy who just snaps and like pops his foot next to it. I want the one where you're spinning around, do all the cool tricks. So, what did our industrious patron have to say? So he thinks it was stolen, eh? Just as well. We'd probably not know where to head next if it wasn't for his distrusting nature. If this piece of similar design is related to the Fangs of Orthus, then it might attract Dikaiosine's attention, assuming it hasn't already. Let's go. Fine battles. Fine weather we're having today in Mordsuk, isn't it? No such thing as a thing without value. That's the creed of these folk. We'll find no shortage of Voberite trinkets here. Finding the right one, on the other hand, is the challenge. I say to ride and conquer as before. Meow. Hume Peddler. Hello! Yes? Do you have business with me, traveler? Ah, the Voberite choker. Is that what all this fuss is about? Then you're in luck, for my husband has yet to sell it. Once we realized how valuable it was, though, he insisted on carrying it with him at all times. If you're not willing to wait for him to return, you could try to find him at the ruins where he's scavenging for relics. They're not far. You ever be a relic scavenger? No, just let me talk. Go to the other guy. Well met, well met. How may I be of service to you? Oh, a choker that once belonged to a Vaporite royalty, you say? If only I had such a remarkable treasure in my possession. But no, I do not. In all my years here, I have never seen, even heard of someone unearthing such a thing. Well, I found your lead. What news, friend? Huh, to think that it was that easy. You've the luck of the Fae. But we need to hurry. If my theory is correct, then so long as that scavenger has the choker, he's a target for dikaiosine. Yeah, I wonder why he wants the necklace. Very curious. Oh, I'm also teleporting. And it's time for water. Seriously. I'm over here trying to drink water. And so I can't teleport? What is this nonsense? What? Alright. We go. We do the thing. Oh, do I get to punch things again? Alright, we got the lo-fi beats. Sorry. Look at his tail sticking straight out. Mercy! 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 Oh, okay. Shouldn't have joked around. Sorry. Take whatever you want, but please don't kill me. I have a family, Please, I beg of you. Oh. He's collecting the pieces. Please. Please. Oh. I'm sorry. This music is entirely inappropriate for this situation. Okay. Oh, so sorry. They're so much better. Oh, Heart of Grundum heals me too. Oh no, he's found another one. It was two. Shame you missed the fun. This one bit off more than he could chew. Probably because it was a newborn. You can tell by the lingering vestiges of intelligence and self, conceited in their eyes. Like when does Kaiosine... Don't tell me. You saw him. Wicked white. And he took the choker too. Damn it. Damn it all. He can't keep running away with it. He can't keep getting away with it. It's just like right. It was too late to save him. Just like I was too late to save her. But not again. Never again. I'll hunt you to the ends of the world, Dikaiosine. Vengeance will be mine. Right. Yes. Neither the time nor the place. More eaters could be about. It's just... every time I cut one down, it reminds me of my first. Of her.
Why are these all so sad? Like, I know why, but why are they all so sad? My grandson.
We may have failed to stop him this time, but what matters is that we'll both live to see another day. Pity the scavenger didn't, and the wife doesn't yet know she's become a widow. Sod it. I'll tell her what happened. I've been there, so maybe it'll help me to find the right words. Not that there are ever any. Afterwards, I'll have a good think about our next stop. Don't let me keep you from your other affairs, Dimma. We'll speak again soon. Hello, it's soon. The princess and her knight. Grandson has had his fill of Mordsuk. Hey there, sinner. I broke the bad news to the widow of that scavenger while you were away. She took it about as well as you'd expect. After she'd cried herself hoarse, I started asking her about the choker and where her husband had got it. Seems he and his mates took a trip to Ilmeg a year or so back. Hoping to cart off all that Voborite treasure hoping to cart off all the Voborite treasures they could carry from an untouched ruin they'd learned about. Of course, in their greed, they neglected to account for the Fae folk, who killed or drove mad most of them. Those who survived didn't come away empty-handed, though. In fact, they'd stumbled upon a remarkable find. 3 sacred treasures of the royal family. They escaped with 2, the Fangs of Orthus being one of them, which was sold by another scavenger to a Yulmoran. Either that merchant you met at the Beehive or an agent of his, I'd wager. So the merchant gives it over to Melinda for restoration, after which Dikaiosine attacks Right, presumably because he's after it as well. Meanwhile, the scavenger here in Mordsuk keeps the choker, the Eyes of Orthus, locked away for safekeeping, and when he finally decides to sell it, the sinless bastard shows up again. Which brings us to the here and now. Damned if I know why, but at this point there's no denying that Dikaiosine's been hunting the royal relics. And so, assuming he hasn't already claimed the third one, the Claws of Orthus, then I say we should get our hands on it first, and then use it to lure him out of hiding. But to that end, we'll have to venture into the fairy kingdom ourselves. The scavengers didn't receive the warmest welcome, and we're not like to be treated any better. I was away with the Fae for a time. Traveled to Ilmeg before. Have you now? And the little devils let you go? Can only assume they've taken a liking to you. That settles it then. We'll head to Ilmeg and ask after this Voborite ring. Okay. Oh. Was he a knight for the royal family before he got connected with everyone? That would explain a lot. What a remarkably uneventful trip. I kept jumping at shadows, waiting for eaters or foul demons or worse to attack. Though that might be preferable to the Fae, frankly. Still, we're going to have to deal with them eventually if we're going to find this ring. After all, the Numo were part of a Voberite society, and without their help, I'm not sure where to even begin our search. Perhaps there's a village of some sort you can guide us to? Well, there's Blaeni. Blaeni, huh? Very well. Lead on, sinner. He says while walking away first. You know, lead on, after I go. Age before beauty. I don't even need this. Hello! Something about your demeanor bespeaks a question unasked. Have I the right of it? Yes. A ring that belonged to the royal family of Vobert, and it was called the Claws of Orthus. But Vobert is long gone, as are the caretakers of the ring you seek. Who can say where it might have got to? Thank you. That's so helpful. I shall appreciate your insight. Oh, hello there. You have questions for me? Claws of Orthus. Is it a ring, you say? The name I have heard before, but I know nothing save that. Oh, Su'ol served the royal family before the flood. Somewhat temperamental they are, but surely they will have the knowledge of this treasure you seek. Okay. Back we go again. We go forward and back and go forward and back and go forward. Hi, grandson. Had yourself a conversation or three? Learned anything interesting? So the Su'ol is the one we ought to speak with, eh? Former servant of the royal family, which would mean they've lived well over a century. Bugger me. I do like that they use that instead of words that would bump the game into a higher rating. Hello! I do not know you, yet you seem to know me. Oh. I wasn't expecting that. I should, though. The fifth was discovered yesterday. A young girl not yet of age, transformed into a misshapen beast like the others before her. As if we needed more proof of a pattern. At this rate, any citizen could be next. Tell me you at least learned something from this one. I studied her remains myself. 'Twas plain a powerful magic had been employed. Vestiges of the enchantment lingered long after. The culprit, I think, is not a man to be trifled with. That is all I can say for now, but you may rest assured that I will ascertain their identity ere long. On my honor as a court mage, I swear it. Until I do, however, I would implore you and you fellow knights to dispatch any who turn or show signs, without hesitation. But these are our kith and kin. Should we not try to keep them alive? Oh. Sorry. Hello, Jan. Alive until a way to reverse their transformation could be found. Your mercy would place countless others at risk. As a knight of Vobert, did you not vow to serve all her people? Justice for the weakest among us, was it not? How many such innocents will die before you do what must needs be done? Pains me deeply, Brandon. But the safety of the royal family is paramount. I fear that to take anything less than the most drastic measures would be to invite death into this castle. Death is already here. Surely you must see that. I will not let it be whispered that Princess Saldia turned a blind eye to her people's suffering. These crimes here are a tragedy that weighs upon every Voberite's soul, mine most of all. That is why I will take charge of the investigation myself. My lady, be reasonable. You cannot put yourself in harm's way. You have a responsibility to your subjects. So I am to gamble with their lives instead? Let them shield me while I alone take shelter and look down on them from on high? Yes, exactly. You are their princess. You are Brandon, yes? The new recruit? A rather promising one, from what the captain has told me. You will attend me personally. My lady? You heard me. I will not stand idly by when I have the power to make a difference. Together we will see justice done for all, as your vow and your princess demand. Strong ruler. Lady Saldia, I understand. Forgive me my hesitation. My life and my sword are yours to command. I have great expectations for you. I trust you will not disappoint me. Right. There's no telling when our culprit will strike again, so we must begin our investigation at once. There are witnesses to be questioned, clues to be gathered. Come. Now? Lady Saldia! Lady Saldia! Ever the stubborn child. I wish you the best of luck, Brandon. You will need it, and more. Backstory. Hey, are you alright? The way you were just holding your head, as if racked by a terrible pain. What happened to you just now? Lady Saldia, you saw her with your mind's eye? Then it is as I suspected. You have the gift too. You are like Brandon. What do you mean he's like Brandon? Oh, don't stab me. Why have you come to me? What is it that you seek? Please don't stab me. Please don't stab me. I see. And for this hunt of yours, you have come to Ilmeg in search of the claws of Orthus. I'm afraid this is no simple matter. First, I would know what you are capable of facing, the eater you seek. There's a spot in a river not far from here. Oh my gosh, why can't I stop yawning? In which I used to bathe, until a number of beasts grew equally fond of it. If you are the warrior you claim to be, they should pose no challenge whatsoever. Sure, I'll clean out your heckin', bathing place. As for you, I have questions. And yes, I am going to teleport because I am lazy. And we are speedrunners. As much as we can. Calming music definitely puts you to sleep too. Poke. Yeah. Back to playing. pretty sure I butchered like 90% of the names in this game. Unless they're spoken aloud, I have like no chance. The beasts are no more then? Good, good. I hadn't the heart to do it myself, for they were no ordinary beasts, but old friends who had survived the flood. Victims of the curse you heard us speak of in your vision. So this curse transforms people into monsters, like how sin eaters can spawn more of their own kind? I will speak no more of this or other matters until you have completed the task I set before you. This is not negotiable, Granston. Dima accepted my terms, and so must you. So secretive, the both of you. Can't we all just speak plain? Your comrade refuses to acknowledge his situation. This may take time, but I am patient. Indeed, I have dealt with many a stubborn child in my life. It's a quid pro quo. Look, they need deals. Hardened heart. Sol Ull seems rather pleased to entertain you. Rather more pleased to entertain you than Grandson. F. Exemplary timing, Dima. It was not more than a moment ago that Grandson returned, having at last obliged my humble request. Humble request, my arse. This one's no better than a Yulmoran aristocrat, so accustomed to making others do their bidding. I tell you, there's something off-putting about taking orders from a dog. Ere you continue and give me cause to reconsider aiding your hunt, perhaps you should ask your questions. Fine. Dima said he saw a vision of you and Brandon looking thick as thieves. You were friends, eh? Know what he's up to now? Brandon is dead. He died a century ago together with his comrades in an attempt to halt the flood that they themselves set in motion. I presume you speak of the eater that took possession of his corpse. The Kaiosine, aye. But unlike most eaters, he's doing more than roam about aimlessly. For some reason, he's been hunting down royal treasures of Old Vobert. And he's been killing anyone who got in his way. Is he now? What irony. Even in death, he remains a slave to duty. A knight brave and true. He's a murderer, and I'll not hear it said otherwise. He ruined my life, killed my beloved right before my very eyes. Every night I go to bed dreaming of the day I'll take my revenge. Oh, I see. Truly, you have suffered a terrible loss. But while your thirst for vengeance is quite natural and understandable, it is ultimately misguided. Unusual behavior notwithstanding, Dikaiosine is nevertheless no more than an eater. To hate him is to hate the sea that claims the ship, the disease that steals the child, the tremor that topples the home, the mindless force of nature that begets destruction, driven by a fragmented memory. Don't you dare make excuses for him. You think I wanted any of this? I grew up on a farm, I could barely wield a sword, and now I've got to kill one of the bloody cardinal virtues. Hate and anger and vengeance are all I've got now. My every waking moment is dedicated to plotting his death. It has to be. It has to be. So just tell us where the goddamned ring is and we'll be on our way. This is how it has to be, hmm? Who you have to be? Nay, I think not. You ask too much, demand far, far too much. And in exchange for what? This I cannot abide. Are you trying to barter with me, you little shite? Tell me what I want to know or I'll beat it out of you. Back off, Dima. Won't let anyone or anything stand between me and Melinda's murderer. I wonder if you get special dialogue if you do this as a Dark Knight. Brandon was a dear friend. To know that an eater disgraces his flesh and his memory pains me more than I can well express. It would bring me great comfort if you were to grant him peace. I should like to share with you a story, if you would be so kind as to join me in Ligia. This had better have a point. Oh, blinded by vengeance. Understandable. but rough nonetheless. We're teleporting again. Alright, moment of truth. What mount do we get? Alright, moment of truth. What mount do we get? Okay, yeah, that's acceptable. I don't know why. I don't care for that mount for some reason. I don't know why. It just doesn't give the happy chemicals. I'm glad I looked at the map arrow. I would have run into that. It is crazy having seen this place in the memory and now it's so different. Ooh. Are we gonna fight? So beautiful. I absolutely love this place. Can't wait to see it in 7.0. It is beautiful, even now. Palace of Forgotten Dreams, but before it was Ligia, in the time of Vobert, it was Grun's Leech. The memory of mine in which she walked was of a troubled time, when the people of our kingdom were preyed upon by an ambitious fool. It was that mage guy, wasn't it? Brandon, then a young knight who had only just won his spurs, caught the eye of Princess Saludia, who chose him as her personal guardian. However, he was far too inexperienced and was unable to keep her safe when she ventured outside the walls on one of her investigations. For his failure, he was stripped of his knighthood, and shortly thereafter he quit Vobert. I thought I would never see him again. But then, one day, he returned. One of several wandering adventurers led by a man named Ardbert, who had accepted our invitation to look into the mysterious transformations, which had continued unabated in Brandon's absence. Lady Saldia was overjoyed, and for a time it was like nothing had changed. They spoke often and grew even closer. And then came the day when we learned the truth. When we learned that the architect of our kingdom's suffering was none other than the court mage, Tadric. Of course it was. He had evil written all over him. It's him, Brandon. I'm sorry. So am I. Come, let's have done with it. This is not gonna go well. Oh, it's beautiful. See, he just looks evil. It was you, Tadric. Do not deny it. Tormenting our people, twisting and transforming them into monsters. And for what? Brandon. And after I took such pains to be rid of you. You may strip me of my titles, but not my oaths. I shall serve Lady Saldia until my dying breath. As you like. Once I have killed you and your friends, there will be no one left to stop me from claiming the throne. Hear me, my children. The hour of reckoning is at hand. Rejoice, for in noble sacrifice shall you find everlasting glory. Tadric, it hurts. Soon you'll still know pain. They are very similar to Senators. I was going to make it quick for old time's sake. Now I think I ought to take my time. All I'm gonna fight is... I'm the tank now! Where's my tank stance? Please tell me it's on. What's this? Sword and pet bar. He's a pet. I'm trying! They are innocent bystanders. Why is he over here making cookies? Oh, shit. Albert! I shall save you! Why is that interruption still there? Okay, there we go. Albert, no! Down with the glass. Got it. Just want to have a bunch of stuff done before I experience the cube. theatrics.
Really?
Well, I'll try not to let him finish, but there's not a whole lot I can do.
Come on, DPS, do your thing.
Did it.
When it comes down to the wire like that, I always get so stressed out. I'm like, what if I fail? No, I'll have to do it again.
But I did it. Meddlesome wretch. This kingdom is by rights mine. How? Brandon, what is the meaning of this? Tadric, you. But why? After serving us faithfully for so many years. I am no servant. No servant. Not of your mother or father or you. My lady. Gods damn you. Take the weapon away at least. Oh. Lady Saldia, speak to me. Brandon. My dear, brave Brandon. Am I your princess still? Would you honor your vows, even now? Now and ever after, my lady. My sword is yours to command. That is well. But that I had the strength to wield it myself. Steel your heart, brave Brandon, and for the good of Vobert and her people. No, 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 I cannot. I will not. Honor your vows. Your kingdom. To your princess. To your friend, who never doubted you, who knew that you would return and see justice. Justice. No, it should be me. sword, now and ever after. We've rounded up the rest of Tadric's co-conspirators and tossed them in the jail. The ones who hadn't been corrupted by his magics, that is. Oh. What is... Why that sinister smirk? I'll not hesitate again, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Wait a minute. Has that elf been showing up in all of them? I vaguely remember her being in the mage one. Was I wrong? I might be misremembering. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Well, you saw what happened. Wicked White. She begged him to do it. Like Melinda. Come, let us quit this place and return to Blyony.
Right in the fjords. And in the shards. Is you cry? We do a tear. Okay, I think this is the last quest.
Do you know why I entered the royal family's service many long years ago? Because when I was attacked by a wild beast which nearly tore me to shreds, it was Lady Saldia who came to my rescue. She saved me, and that is a debt that can never be repaid, for there is naught in this world which holds greater value than life itself. Not even her death absolves me of it, and so I must always first consider her wishes, her desires, what she would want for me and her kingdom, for Brandon, and yes, even for you, grandson. For me. To define oneself in opposition to the other, an other bereft of complexity of nuance, wholly devoid of redeeming qualities, a villain. Indeed, there is comfort and certainty in hatred, but it is false and fleeting comfort, bought with lies we tell ourselves about who we are and what we must be and what we must do. And never you mind the cost. If anything, the more we offer up in sacrifice, the better. Do you not see? Brandon was right to hesitate, to doubt. The unwavering blade cares not whom it serves or who it cuts. I think I need a moment. Perhaps you do as well. Leave us for now, Dimma.
Oh, Tinky Boy's being sad.
Wearing one earring. To have loved and lost. Sol Ul is eager to hear what Grandson has to say. Grandson, I have given you ample time to consider the path that has brought you here, and where it invariably leads all who walk it. I didn't know what to do after I lost Melinda. How to mourn her or how to live. I felt that if I put it all on Dakair's scene, put my everything into the hunt, that at least I wouldn't have to think about myself or what comes next. I wanted to hollow myself out and fill up that hole with hate. Forget who I was, and irony of ironies, that's just what the poor bastard tried to do himself a century ago too, isn't it? Huh. Hard men making hard choices. What rot. Hold on to Melinda and the memories you shared. Let that love guide you. Think not of Dakayasin, but Brandon. Grant him peace and you will find your own. You're right. I don't need the hate. Never did. I'll finish it for Melinda and for Brandon. And then I'll move on. Move on, you say? I can't live off hate. Shouldn't have made it this far, frankly, and the more I try to reach for it, the more I find sorrow. Pity. Curse not fate, but mourn her victims. Remember the dead as they lived. Aye, something like that. Reckon Dimma would agree, and Melinda, if she were here, would probably slap me a dozen times and call me a bloody fool for acting the way I have. Or maybe you've been thinking about doing that in her stead, eh? Maybe a little. She just nods! Apologies for treating you with such disrespect before, Sol. I'd like to claim I can finally understand what you've been trying to tell me this time, but I'm still getting my head around it. Recognizing your own faults is the first and most important step. I will tell you what I know of the Claws of Orthus. The ring, together with the bracelet and choker, were 3 relics passed down through the royal family over the generations, signifying the owner's right to rule. Princess Saldia was the last of her line, and after her death, they were stored in a sanctuary for safekeeping. However, a year ago, a band of thieves learned of its existence. The ones who stole the fangs and eyes of Orthus? Yes. The relics were concealed with magical wards, and I can only presume that once they were spirited away, Dakayasin was then able to sense their presence. Even in death, a slave to duty, you said. You think he pursued the thieves out of an instinctive loyalty to his princess? That I do. After all, he was content to leave them be so long as they remained hidden. Only 2 of the 3 were taken, then the 3rd is still... Claim the Claws of Orthus and he will surely come for you, yes. Timgiz is where you must go. Once you arrive at the place I marked on your map, cast this powder into the air. The glamour will fade and you will see the chest with the ring. The rest is up to you. Thank you, Sol. I promise we will bring your friend peace. With me, sinner. And may you find peace as well, child.
He's so sad.
Oh, I did lose my, my food long ago, didn't I? Quick, eat egg. I have a bunch of, I have a bunch of, I have a bunch of stuff in my inventory that I gotta desynth as soon as I can. I'm waiting for Dontrell to drop so I can actually desynth it, because I don't want to just discard it, because I want the chance of getting the material it might drop. Worst case, if...
Look at him go! Him so fast! Him so fast, puppy! Go bark bark! Bark bark bark!
I am drunk off of tired. This is it. We've done it. Small sack. Mushroom powder. Oh gosh. We're doing shrooms. You toss the powder into the air and it slowly settles to the earth as twinkling motes of light. Coffer begins to take shape. Can't wait to see what they've done with the plants in-game. Oh. This must be the claws of Orthus. All that's left is to decide when and where to confront the Eater. I don't think we're gonna get a chance to decide that, if I'm being honest. At least close the chest. See? And now the chest, everything in there is gonna get destroyed because of weather, and it's gonna rain on it. Or we could deal with it here and now. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Hey there, old man. I don't know you and you don't know me, but I know your story. I know this isn't you. And I know if Lady Soldia was here, she'd say the same thing. It'll be over soon. I promise you. I'm just gonna beat him with the crystal. I'll still do. Pay attention to me. I am the Yeah, I did not want to be in front of that.
Help me! Help me! Help me! Ooh, I hope I make that there in time.
Be healed. My dude, will you please stop standing in that? Oh, shit. Okay. Now wait! Whew, I got real focus there. Damn, Eater. Let him go, he's not your bloody puppet. Oh, there's a little crystal. Huh. Finally. You watching, Melinda? Dim, close your mouth. Close your mouth. My dude, you're gonna get flies in your face. Oh. Now, and ever after, my lady Saldia, my sword is yours to command. Brandon? He's still in there. I'll not hesitate again, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Wait, is he trapped in the memory still? You're wrong, Brandon. That's not what she would want. Let go of your anger. Let go of her. But that would make me lesser in your eyes, wouldn't it? To shoulder a burden that need not be mine. No, I will not forsake compassion and love. I will not dishonor your memory. Oh, my lady Saldia. He's gone. It's to pieces. And with that, the three treasures of the royal family are reunited. Now we've just got to find a place to stick them so that no scavenger ever stumbles upon them again. Least we can do for the princess and her knight, am I right? Maybe Soul Ol will have some ideas. Let's head back to Pleione. He's come far. He's done very good, that little guy. I am proud of you, grandson.
We did it.
And then immediately the mood is ruined. There it is. Do 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 da 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 da. Is it done? Brandon has been laid to rest. He saw us when we arrived. Do you really have to ask? No, I suppose not. Oh, my dear friend, I pray you have found peace. And what of you, grandson? Has the turmoil in your heart subsided at last? I suppose so, though to be honest it felt like I made my peace with him before we even fought. Because you finally saw him for what he was, and accepted that truth into your heart. The battle was but an afterthought. Easy for you to say. You didn't have to cross blades with the bloke. By the way, I've brought you some gifts. The 3 royal relics of Vobert. Then Brandon was safeguarding both the bracelet and the choker. And now it's your turn to look after the whole lot. That's what Lady Saldia and her knight would have wanted, I reckon. Yes, of course. That their souls may sleep soundly forevermore. We shall enshrine these relics for all eternity. Now that that's settled, I suppose we should be on our way. There's a detour I'll have to take, but afterwards I'd like to speak with you back at the usual spot in the Crystarium. Be well, Solo. I think that one has a bright life ahead of him. You can find the strength to overcome such terrible tragedy, but he did. As have you. On no few occasions, I am sure. It has been a pleasure, Dimma. Do visit me should you ever yearn to hear an old fool prattle on and on. And with that, I think we're about to turn in the last of the role quests for Shadowbringers. 2 days before Endwalker drops. Or, sorry, not Endwalker. Dawntrail. Man. It has been quite the journey. Hopefully I'll have a chance to do the tank quest for Endwalker before tomorrow. But we'll see. Well met, Sinner. Glad to see you made it back safe and sound. Having returned to where it all began, I can't help but think back to when I first came here, thinking only of Dikaiosine and my revenge. I was so wrapped up in my own personal affairs that I didn't realize I was only pushing others away. Gunnard was the only one who saw through the facade. He's a perceptive one, aye. Took one look at me, and I got back and broke into a smile when I got back. But enough about him. I have yet to thank you properly, Dimma. I owe you so much for sticking with me to the end. So what's next for you, Sinner? Good question. Can't say I feel at home here or in Wright or anywhere else, so I might spend some time on the road. I may not be as skilled a fighter as you, but I reckon I'm better than most, and there's always someone in need of a reliable sword hand. Melinda would want me to use my talents for a noble purpose, and helping folks in need fits the bill. Else, isn't that what Brandon and his comrades wound up doing in the end? So, let's not call it goodbye. Let's just say, until the next hunt. Wheresoever you go, may you find shade, sinner. I like that. That's a good phrase. That's a good quest. Aw, you'll do well, grandson. We did it. Laid them all to rest. Speaker for the righteous. Yep, there it is. We're gonna wait to do that one. I'll see if I can't do them all in one go. And now with him staring at me, and us having completed, I'm gonna call it a night. Hit some sleep. Smack it with a stick. Win. I'm going to bed. Y'all take care. Happy prepping for Jolin Trail. And I will see you in the MSQ.